So literal equations is basically the movement of an equation to solve for a specific variable. In this case, we're going to try to solve for m. So I'm going to use my highlighter to show what I'm trying to do. And what I want to do is get m by itself. Again, we talked about PEMDAS now a few times. We want to work backwards when we're solving. And so I'm going to work this way. So I'm going to look for add or subtract away from the m. So right here we can see 2 times n, that's the multiply and divide. So I'm going to move this negative 5n. The opposite of subtract 5n is to add 5n to the other side. But here's the thing, that cancels out, but over here on the right, that's not a 4n. That's just 4 plus 5n, so that's what we have, 4 plus 5n equals, and then on the right side we had 2m. I should align that out one better. I will work on that for the next one. But again, I'm trying to get this m by itself. And right now there's a 2 times it. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And I'm going to simplify where I can. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 doesn't go into 5, so we'll just leave that 5 over 2n. And then this 2 divided by 2 is 1, or just m. And that's what I was trying to get by itself. Let me try to do better on number 3, or I'll do number 2, it's fine. So right here I want you to solve for y. So here's y, I want to get y by itself. And so I want to move, again, this is 5 times y, this is plus 10x, so I'm going to subtract 10x. So bringing down, I've got 5y equals 80 minus 10x. And again, I want y by itself, and it says 5 times y, so I'm going to divide everything by 5. So y equals 80 divided by 5 is 16, and negative 10 divided by 5 is negative 2. Now later on, we're going to want that in y-intercept or slope-intercept, so we would want y equals negative 2x plus 16. So if you did that, good for you, but this is really what we're doing today. Looking at number 3, there's a lot more letters going on here. So again, we want to make sure that we know what we're solving for. We're solving for x. So I think a highlighter is really smart to use to try to help yourself to see what's going on. So again, we've got b and t are all multiplied to x, but I've got this plus c. So I'm going to subtract c to both sides. So a minus c, can't combine any terms there. And I've got b x t. So I'm trying to get x by itself. You could do it one at a time, but it's much easier if right here you see that b and t are multiplied to the x. I'm going to divide both sides by bt. So a over bt minus c over bt equals x. You could have also said a minus c over bt, but in my class I really like you to do both of them because a lot of times we can simplify like we did on number 3. Okay, looking at number 4, we want to solve for y. Here's y. We can see that 5 is next to y, so let's multiply, and then it says add a negative 2. Well, we can't subtract it. That's a negative. The opposite of a negative 2x is a positive 2x. So I've got 5y equals 12 plus 2x. Then I want y by itself. So I'm going to divide by 5 everything. And unfortunately, none of that cancels out. So we're just going to leave 12 over 5 plus 2 over 5 x. Why don't you try this next one? Okay, hopefully you paused and tried it yourself. If you haven't, you should try it. We want to get that b by itself. This one's really tricky. There's a couple different ways you could do this. I'm going to do it the way that my students talk about doing the most. See how that's a, it's complicated. This is the way my students did the last problem, so I'm going to do it that way. We're going to add 2b to the other side, which is kind of weird. But now I have a positive a a negative 10 plus 2b. So if I'm trying to get b by itself, I would add the 10 and get a plus 10 equals 2b, and then divide everything by 2. So a over 2 plus 5 equals b. Let's say, Cooper, I want to see how I did it. Okay, little bonus here, so you can fast forward through this one if you want. We could have also subtracted a and said negative 2b equals negative 10 minus a. And then again, trying to get b by itself, we would divide all of this by a negative 2. So a negative divided by a negative would make that a positive, and a negative divided by a negative would make that a positive. So b equals 5 plus a over 2 is the same as a over 2 plus 5 equals b. Same thing. Okay, last one. Pause it, see if you can try it. Lots of letters. Let's look at it. We have solve for m. Here's m. So again, right here, this m times x, that's multiplied. It says plus 2nx. So I'm going to subtract 2nx to the other side. So I've got mx equals p minus 2nx. Trying to get this m by itself. So I'm going to divide this by x, and this by x. Everything, right? This cancels out. M equals p over x minus, be careful right here, do you see this is an x on top, x on bottom, minus 2n.